Hi Broward County, my name is Ellen and I work for Newsela, and I'm going to show you how to sign into Newsela with your child at home. They can do this pretty much the same way they sign in at school through the Broward Launchpad, which allows them to see all their education apps in one place. As you can see, they're laid out in alphabetical order, and all you have to do is find the Newsela one, which is here located in the lower left-hand corner. They'll just click here and they'll be taken straight to the Newsela website. This is the best way for them to log on, and they should be able to do this as they would in school. They should be pretty familiar with it, and they can, again, use the same username and password. They shouldn't log in through newsela.com because given that you do have the advantage of the single sign-on platform, it really is the best way for them to get into their account. So once you click on the Newsela icon, you'll be taken to the student homepage, which looks something like this. And so you can see your student's name in the upper right-hand corner, and the homepage has two main tabs. It's very easy to navigate, and the default is the Explore tab. This is where you and your child can just look for content that is interesting to you at your leisure. Anything that pops out, anything that you want to read is available to you in this tab. You can search for suggested articles that are right here, or they could go through the toolbar that's also up here. Library content is anything that is nonfiction but not current events. News is obviously what we're best known for and where our current events articles live. But if we're just going to click into an article right now, I can show you some of the basic features of any article that you're going to look at. So you can feel free to look at the article as it is. This article is currently on the maximum level, which means that it is showing the article as it originally appeared by Keith Ridler in the Associated Press. Every article has this Lexile converter up here in the right-hand corner, and your child has the power to change the Lexile at any time. Since Newsela is an adaptive program, the article will be automatically delivered to your student at the level that is just right for them. So the program basically learns based on their quiz performance what the level of the article should be that they read, and without them doing anything, it will assign them the article at that level. However, your child might want to change it anyway, and they have the power to do that always. So if I click this, I can then see the article at the 800 Lexile, which is just a little bit down, and you can see the title changes, and then if I were to look at the text, it changes a little bit as well. And if I go down to even the 380 Lexile, wow, it's really changed now, and the language is a lot simpler. So students always have the power to change this, even though we are taking into consideration what is best for them automatically. If they were to come across an article and were to think, oh man, well, this is a pretty simple article, I could challenge myself. They could feel free to increase the level and go up. If, for example, they looked at an article and they thought to themselves, wow, this is really a tough article, I think I might need to look at it at a little bit lower Lexile, they can always do that too. The power is in their hands to look at it at the level that is best for them, and they can decide that as well. On any article they want, they can feel free to interact with the article through these two activities that we have. Teachers, when they assign articles, might emphasize one of these, but whether or not teachers have assigned the article, these activities are always available to the student. And so I mentioned the quiz earlier. The quiz is really helpful for determining the student's comprehension of the article. It's just like a nice check at the end. And if a student has done really well in the quiz, they get a little celebration at the end with some confetti and a sign that they did a good job. So even if you're just reading independently at home, it might be a good idea to have your student take the quiz at the end of the article. And then, as I mentioned, the quiz is really important for determining students' just right reading level. So their performance on that quiz is always contributing to refining that and making sure it's consistently the most dynamic and best. That's the Explore tab. And if you click on the icon in the corner, it'll take you back to the main page. And in the Assignments category, this is where you can see anything that the teacher has assigned. Any of your students' teachers have assigned to them. So in this case, I can see if I scroll down, my student's teacher, Ms. Record, she is his English teacher, and she assigned this article on the 9th, which is also when he read it. And if I click into that, I can even see things like his past quiz performance. So as I mentioned, you can always do the quiz, but if it's already done the quiz, I can see how he did. The same would hold true with the writing prompt as well. So this one just says response, but this is where I'd be able to see. And I can also see what his teacher scored it. So that can be really helpful if you're curious about that. Last but not least, I can see my students' progress in the binder, and they can see it themselves on their own. All of this is also available to them on their own if they want. In the binder, I can see a graph of my students' progress on the quizzes that they've taken. So any dot that is red means the student hasn't passed this quiz. So this student, Michael, is struggling a little bit. They have more red dots than green. Green means that they passed the quiz. And so if I hover over these dots, you'll notice I can see what they scored and what level they read the article, as well as what day they read that article. At a glance, I can see basic information, their quiz average, how many quizzes they've taken, and most importantly, their average article lexile as calculated by the program. So if I scroll underneath the graph, I can then see exactly what articles they've read and other information like when they read it and what activities they did on it. So for example, I can see Michael read independently this article about gaming. He read it at a 180 lexile, and he scored a 33% on the quiz. So this just kind of chronicles everything that they've done in order. So if I just want to see by date what's been going on in my child's account, I can look here. And again, that's just underneath this graph in the binder. So hopefully that's been helpful for telling you what you can see at home with your child in Newsela, whether you want to look at their progress so far or you just want to read nonfiction articles with them and see what's up in Newsela there.